Hi, welcome back to GP Reactions. I hope you're well. I hope you're enjoying the sunshine wherever you may be, and you're enjoying the fact that it's Friday and it's nearly the weekend. So I'm going to be delving back again into 1982, and I'm going to be looking at a track from Creole and the Coconuts entitled Stool, Pigeon, and it's from an album called Tropical Gangster. So Stool Pigeon entered the UK Top 40 around about the 9th of July, and I think it peaked at about number 8. So without further ado, I'm going to dive straight into this one and see if I can tease anything out of the lyrics that isn't automatically obvious. What's unusual? Oh, right. So this is Top of the Pops, I think. So the first thing to actually notice about this song is, and I've never really kind of given it too much thought before, but it's got like a really catchy hook with the guitars, and the saxophone just kind of dips in and out, and just kind of gives it a really kind of upbeat kind of sound. I'm not really kind of too sure how to describe the sound that I'm listening to, but I mean, I look at his clothes and it kind of feels Cuban, Latin American. A sound, maybe Caribbean or something. It's kind of really difficult to pinpoint the sound of this group, and that makes them so uniquely different to anything that's kind of around them in the charts. I'm really enjoying this Top of the Pops performance as well. I think there's an official video of this, but I don't think it differs too much from the actual performing side of what they're doing in the studio. So that was Creole and the Coconuts with Stool Pigeon. It was lovely to see that performance. I think I've only ever seen the video, and I think I saw a live performance around about the same time. My brother had he had a likening for Creole and the Coconuts. I think it was perhaps the coconuts that drew his that he was attracted to. And the outfits in this are are wonderful. Really, it's properly. It feels like they feel like kind of showgirls, and he's kind of dressed up in his fine. I think 1940s kind of clothes. Definitely kind of got that Cuban feel about him. And the song itself, I mean, I don't think there's too much to be misread in the lyrics, but as a gentleman that's going around, is turning a joint upside down, stool pigeon. I mean, the stool pigeon, my understanding of a stool pigeon is it's usually somebody who is, he works as a criminal. He's a criminal, and he's possibly come out of jail and has possibly involvements with law and enforcement agencies. And essentially, he's a snitch, but he or she would be somebody who would frequent the same joints as they would previously when they were involved with unlawful activities, and so they were I think the reference stool pigeon is that they'd fly back to the, let's say, the FBI, but they'd be always in like one or two places, maybe, that they could report information and garner information from, and then they'd fly back and basically essentially grass on people, and they would and lots of people would get locked up, and then when the cat's out of the bag, then they would probably go into a witness protection program and be given a new identity and live somewhere incognito. So I kind of think basically that's what the song's about, and it's kind of an interesting kind of concept. I don't know if this is an idea that August Darnell, who is the singer of Creole, I don't know if this is an idea that he's got from watching old 1940s movies, perhaps. Maybe he's watched gangster movies or something, or perhaps he's spent time in places where there's a lot of criminals, and he's given in the idea, God, if I went to the police and told them this, I could get half these people locked up. Who knows? It's a really kind of energetic song as well. Again, very much like the Imaginations Music and Lights. It's a very upbeat, uplifting song. But different about this one is actually probably about quite a sensitive subject of snitching on your fellow criminal. So I always find it's interesting contrast between the joy, the colourful joy of his outfit, the singers, and a song that's essentially about criminals and law enforcement. It's kind of feels very strange, and that's a really attractive element of a lot of 1980s songs, is that it's incongruous. And just going off on a tangent, the one thing they said about some of the best horror movies, some of the best scenes, or some of the most kind of weirdly violent movies, was that scenes of violence were sometimes carried out to completely incongruous music. And during the 1980s, there was all of a sudden there were horror movies would have like rock music playing away to deaths and stuff, whereas what they should have done was have something completely innocent, and then it would have kind of made the viewer even more uncomfortable. But I'm going off on a tangent there, and I just kind of feel like a lot of pop songs were very, very good at doing this, singing about fairly serious subject, but performing it in such a way that you could actually just listen to the music and not listen really to the lyrics and still enjoy the song as much. I'm not sure how long his Coconuts carried on singing with him after 82. They had a few more tracks, but I think generally the lineup of their group group would probably, I'm assuming, would change over the years. But yeah, I think they're one of these groups that really just stood out as being very eccentrically different, and you wouldn't even say they weren't sort of mainstream showbizy. There was nothing set about this group. I don't think they went by a formula or anything for their music, or for their performances. Definitely unique, and it's one of these lovely, fluffy, colourful bands that we had in the 80s. Who kind of sadly I don't think we have too many of them nowadays, but there you go. Anyway, I really enjoyed that, guys, and again, it's really interesting to start kind of looking into the lyrics. Although the lyrics with this song are a little bit more obvious, it's still, wonderful to kind of revisit and stop and listen. A lot of the tracks I kind of listened to when I was young, they were just like, I loved them, and they were great tracks, and they stuck in my memory, but they only stuck in my memory because they were the soundtrack to my life at the time, and so kind of revisiting them, there is that feeling of nostalgia because I'm back in 1982, in the summer of 82, but unlike then, I'm now sort of really thinking about what they're trying to get across in the songs and how the lyrics, what the lyrics might have meant to them, and what the lyrics mean. So yeah. Anyways, I got a few more tracks from 82 to come. I hope you don't mind. I don't want to kill you with 1982. I will react to some new music again, and then I will be dipping back into 1982 before the end of August. Then I might move to a different year altogether, perhaps into the 70s or even the 60s. And you know what? If you've got any suggestions for a particular year for me to listen to, then I'm more than happy to go there, even if it's in the 1990s. Nothing is off the table. Obviously, copyright on more recent songs can be a bit sketchy, and you can run into a few difficulties. Thankfully, I've only had one strike, which has elapsed now, that finished in earlier this month. So, but I wouldn't really kind of want to risk too many strikes because you kind of feel that you're forever walking a tightrope after that. So yeah, I'm open to any suggestions about any music, any year. So until next time, take care of yourselves, have a great day, and I'll speak to you guys soon.